Let's do some legal discussion, if you can call it that. Donald Trump, confused and disoriented, was bemoaning on Truth Social that he can't just strike an unlimited number of jurors that he doesn't like for whatever reason from jury selection in his criminal trials. A reminder, the first of Donald Trump's 4 criminal trials started on Monday with jury selection. They were off yesterday. Jury selection resumes today. Reportedly, 7 of the 12 jurors have been seated. Now they need to select 5 additional jurors and some number of alternates. I believe it may even be up to 6 alternates, 12 and 6. And we will learn more about the outcome of that very, very soon. Now, we've already heard from some of the jurors that have been removed, including one young lady who was very much not a fan of Trump, but claimed that she could still be fair and objective. So Trump takes to Truth Social yesterday, and he says, quote, "I thought strikes were supposed to be unlimited when we were picking our jury. I was then told we only had 10, not nearly enough when we were purposely given the second worst venue in the country. Don't worry, we have the first worst also." Some would just call it the worst, but I guess you could say the first worst. "As the witch hunt continues, election interference." So a couple different things. I assume by the worst venue, Trump means Washington, D.C., with the idea that Washington, D.C. is even more Democratic leaning than the New York City borough of Manhattan. Now, we've already talked about why the case is in Manhattan, and it's because that's where the alleged crimes took place, and that's where it was investigated. So it would be normal that that's where you would ultimately have the trial. Now, of course, even with Manhattan being left-leaning, there are still more than enough non-political folks, centrists, right-leaners, individuals who can be fair, that you can find 12 jurors and 6 alternates. But there's a couple different things here that are sort of disturbing about Trump's confusion. Number one, it would make no sense for strikes to be unlimited in any criminal case, because then you could just indefinitely delay the trial by striking jurors. Now, it's important to mention that there's a limited number of preemptory strikes, which it's just, we don't want this juror. We don't have to give a reason. This is somebody we don't want. There's a limited number. If you can make a good challenge for cause, in addition to the preemptory strikes, if you can say this individual simply cannot carry out their job fairly here, then that is a different case that you can make. And there's a bunch of strategy between jury selection. Many of the major trials bring in jury consultants who focus only on selecting jurors. And there is a question as to what does it mean to have a fair and appropriate jury? What is a jury of one's peers? Does Donald Trump even really have 12 peers plus 6 alternate peers anywhere, never mind in Manhattan, given a lot of different things, including his role as former president of the United States? And you, in an ideal world, you would be judged by a jury that is in some ways at least representative of a cross-section of society. As we get those, there have been some early declarations and reporting about the makeup of this jury, but still we don't know everything about it. I believe that I last heard there were 2 lawyers on the jury, for example. Many lawyers will say, I don't want lawyers on my juries. Depending on the case and the facts, sometimes lawyers will say, it is actually to my advantage to have lawyers on the jury. So all of this stuff goes to strategy. But Trump's lawyers have known since the beginning that there would be 10 strikes. And Trump's seeming confusion about this raises questions about how much Trump understands about these proceedings, how much Trump's lawyers are telling Trump about the proceedings. And of course, even if Trump's lawyers are telling him about the proceedings, to what degree is Trump listening to or even understanding them? So Trump confused about jury selection. Now let's hear a little bit from Trump's failed former lawyer, Alina Habba, continuing to spread distortions about due process and venue and so many other things. We've already seen so many data breaches in the news just this year: Roku, GitHub, Fujitsu, Nissan, many others. Cyber criminals have more tools at their fingertips than ever before. And one of the easiest, cheapest ways you can secure yourself and your family is using a VPN, an app that hides your IP address. If these companies get hacked, but you use a VPN, then your IP address will just be one less thing that the criminals know about you, which makes it harder for them to hack or to steal your identity. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the only VPN I use. They don't log any of your online activity, which you can verify a number of ways, including the fact that the software is open source, super fast for streaming. You can use Private Internet Access on all of your devices with just a single account. Don't let the big corporations, the hackers, governments see your IP address and everything you do online. Get Private Internet Access for 83% off, which comes out to just $203 a month plus 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.